David Cummings is very good at coming alongside other people and kind of he will never be like, that's the path, go down the path. He will never tell you that. But if you're like, I want to go down the path, he'll just kind of do a little like, he'll just place a little light on like a path that he thinks is good for you. And then and then it's you, like, I go and so,
It's a great description. I like that.
oh
I've
yeah.
never heard that before. So tell me
I,
this, when I would make the case that you have seen more startups than
see,
probably anybody that I know. Okay.
yeah.
Then you start your own startup. What surprised you?
It's interesting because even though I'm a first-time tech software entrepreneur, in a lot of ways, I know I know a lot as if I were a serial entrepreneur, but I had not done it myself. And so, I think the highs and lows that I have coached people through and with entrepreneurs have been like, oh, this is the trough of sorrow, and you're going to feel this and this, and like all of these different things, feeling them is very real. And experiencing them is more powerful than I thought. And there was a time even where like I called David Lightburn and I was like, David, like, and I was asking his opinion about something, and he was like, Karen, I've literally been in meetings with you where I've heard you give great advice to a founder about this very thing. And I was like, what did I say? What did I say? And he repeated it back to me, and I'm like, oh yeah. Like I have the knowledge, but I think there's these moments where the highs and lows are really true. Like some days I'm like, I'm so smart, this is going to be so successful, this is just going to, and then I'll have another moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing, like this is so hard. And all that's normal and all of that's okay, and I know that, but experiencing
That was the big surprise for you, was experience the highs and lows personally, as opposed to
yes, because
watching other people go through it, right?
Absolutely.
That's really good.
And being the leader, which is what I wanted, right? So I'm like, I want to be the CEO. I want to create all of this without running it by anybody, right? It's like, I want to do this. And I feel very capable, but that doesn't mean I have all the answers. So it's this path of the unknown, which I love. I love doing hard things. I love the adventure of it. But yeah, it's equally
you've proved that
exciting.
through this interview. How do you maintain? Been following your weekly updates, and it's just been painful to listen to these things, because I know what you're going through. And in this environment, which is really hard to find people, you're not only finding people, they got to be like the exact right person. And you know how to evaluate that. How do you maintain your patience in building those first few folks? How does that happen?
Yeah. I am naturally a very impatient person. I have a high sense of urgency. I love getting stuff done. And so, to your point, like just so people listening, is we've been looking for a full stack back-end engineer. So I have an amazing co-founder and CTO, Seth. We've got another front-end engineer.
How did you find him? That's the first one that you had to find.
Yeah. So the co-founder is a big thing, right? Because
really big. Okay.
Yeah. So we were oversubscribed on our round. So we raised $500,000 in 6 weeks, and we were trying to raise 400, which was amazing. Super thankful for that. And yeah, I always tell people, like, I'm like, this should take you 30 no's to get your yes. But I went to my network, and I'm always like, if it hadn't gone that well, I would have questioned a lot of the past 8 years of my life. So there's an element of like, yes, that was 8 years. It was 6 weeks, but it took 8 years of networking and ecosystem and proving.
You built that network,
right.
And the credibility you have in the network is incredible. Yeah.
So
you can be counted on. Okay, that's what.
I can, absolutely. Yes. We're going to build something great. I can't guarantee like the level of success, but we're going for the home run for sure.
So now we'll get to the co-founder. So here you are, pocket full of money, all alone, good ideas, and capable of actually doing anything on the ground, right? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs like that. So where did you go? What do you do?
So network. again, it was the
My
network.
son is in this for, Amanda's husband. He's at this stage. He's right there.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I can't tell you in my years at ATV how many people were looking for a CTO. Um, and they're hard to find, and especially the right kind of person, right? And then the right kind of equity and kind of agreement and all of those things. So long story short is I just started reaching out to all sorts of people in my network, investors. I was like, this is what we're looking for. And then did due diligence. Actually, it's like you're dating, right? It's like you're dating this co-founder because you're going to build a life together for
You're
7
getting
years.
married. This is getting
Uh,
married. And you don't have a year and a half to date.
right. No, yeah. So
Okay.
I actually had gone down a path of talking to somebody for about a month, um, that was recommended me by investor. Really good guy. We would have worked really well together. Had a lot of difficult conversations, like, right? So you just spend hours talking to each other, talking about product, talking about the vision for what you want the company to be, the cap table. We even did reference checks. So we're talking to people who knew us and had worked with us.
Well, you're
And
also asking him, what do you want out of your life? And what do you want? And he's saying,
absolutely,
or she's saying, what I want my life to look like. I
yeah,
mean, it's beyond the company. I mean, it has all these elements to it.
absolutely. So we did all of that. And then he essentially made a comment at the end that like he wanted to do it. We had found cap table equity, all of that was in the right place, but that he was not passionate about the mission or the customer. And I was like, hey, this is not a fit. Then no. So we like had the breakup call, but I was like, I can't have a co-founder who's not passionate about the mission. And the mission and the customer has been the same from the beginning, right?
How
Products.
hard was that call?
I was really disappointed. It literally felt like a breakup call, like
Yeah.
awkward, short, and I was like, I'm sorry, like, what are you saying? And he was like, yeah, but he wanted to keep talking about it, and I was like, respectfully, if the mission, you're not passionate about the mission, then this is not gonna work. So all that to say is right before he rolled off, we had Christy Brown, who was with Loeb ATL. She's in venture. Now she runs Launchpad 2X. I'm friends with her. And my co-founder, Seth, is friends with her too. And I tell entrepreneurs to do these updates all the time. And I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid. Every Sunday night, I send out a weekly update to people who've invested, to people who've not invested, to potential future employees that I would like on my team, so everyone can follow. So it's not like open, but it's, there's a few number of folks on there.
But you put yourself, you're getting mind share if they're opening your email, right? Otherwise, you're just working hard and nobody knows what you're doing. Yeah.
Right. So every Sunday
It's a
night,
great idea.
I send that out, and she had gotten that, and I'd been talking about a co-founder, and she was like, hey, do you know that this guy Seth? And I actually kind of knew of him. He had worked with another entrepreneur that I knew. And I was like, hey, I'm already down the path with this other guy. Like, we're like a month in, but I was like, also always take the meeting, right? Always take the meeting. When you're especially early stage founder, I'm like, I have a million things I have to do. And then my mind goes like 100 times a minute. But I'm like, I will always take a meeting right now, right? And so I was like, let's go ahead and meet. And Seth and I like did a Zoom call, and we talked. And I was like, hey, just to be upfront, I'm already talking to somebody. We're pretty far down the path, but I just wanted to get to know you. So I was really transparent in that. And we literally got like at the end of the call, we kind of looked at each other and we were like, dang, this could have been good. Like this could have been he's like, I would have liked working with you. And I was
Just
like,
from first meeting, first call.